That would be so much more difficult to drive it that high. Your back spot on these is helping to block those feet in the legs, giving resistance so that the feet don't drop down. This is usually teams will use this version first. It's a slower version. It helps them start learning all the pieces to get to the back handspring up because it is a little bit slower. But because it's slower, it is physically a little bit heavier. So you kind of have a trade-off here. On the round off up, you basically your top round off in, your bases come in there. They got their front hand on the shoulder area. Their back hand is going to be somewhere around the hip. Their shoulder, their initial thing they want to do is they want to catch the shoulders up to the feet and get them up above. Your back spot again, this is what's so key. She's going to block those thighs and not let the feet drop. She's going to make the feet stay up. That way the bases make the shoulder, and there you have the feet at the top instead of having to catch and press through, or the feet hit the back spot in the back of the head or get stuck because they're letting the feet drop. Now, on your top, I want you to see this real quick because you'll see a different version on the back handspring. Notice she comes off the ground and she just leaves her hands out, pulls her shoulders up, and hits the motion. Your next one on the back handspring, you're going to see the top will do a little bit different. She's going to come off the ground quicker, regrab the forearms, and push again. Both techniques are perfectly fine. One gives you a little more power because she's able to re-push, but that one does require a little bit more timing and has one more movement, which makes it technically a little bit more to think about when you're practicing. So this is your back handspring up. Speed is what helps this so much. You've got the back handspring. She comes off the ground, re-grabs, pushes again, your bases come in. Everything else they've learned from that slower version off the round off. Now, Lark, we're going to go through those next 4 clips. Coaches, we're going to show you 4 drills that will help you get your back handspring ready. The very first one is all about the actual back handspring. Because for a back handspring up, if you have a really good tumbler and she throws an awesome back handspring that's long and fast, your bases will never get it up because it will hit them too hard. So what you want your tops to do is do a back handspring to a handstand and fall to a push-up position. This will slow her down, allowing the bases to get control of her body. The other thing this helps you do is the more she can land in a flat position as opposed to hips really piped up, the better position she's in to then be pushed up in a back handspring up. So when you first have your tops do this, they may land in a real, like almost a pyramid type situation. Get them used to feeling what it's like to really let their feet get all the way back so that their hips and shoulders are in a nice line as much as possible. Once you have this, the next drill is about timing. So you'll notice the bases in the back spot, they're far away from the top, but they are going in and practicing what their timing is, how to reach in, following her, making sure that they have timing with her back handspring. Because the key safety issue on learning this, coaches, is making sure your bases don't come in too early and take the hands out of the back handspring. That's where your biggest risk is. Everything else is just like learning normal skills. You put your spotters in place, etc. But it's almost not possible to spot this. So you want to make sure they got good timing before you move to the next drill. And the next drill is the one coming up. Now we're going to have them come in and stop. Okay, this allows you to make sure you're comfortable that they do have timing, but also now you can start looking at hand placement. Front hand, shoulders, back hand, hips. Now, coaches, now you'll watch your top person. She comes off the ground quick and re-grabs on the forearms. Now, obviously, when they go at full speed, it's even a quicker movement, but right now she's practicing where the forearms are, timing coming off the ground, and everybody feels the lift going up. Notice your back spot is getting used to not letting the feet come. It's blocking and keeping the feet going up. Those 4 drills will put you in a safe position for your teams to learn back handspring ups and then start doing them. Lark, could we go back and show the back? And so you put them all back together, and there you go. Speed off the ground, quick off the ground, push the forearms, block the feet. That allows them to come through at the top. So you see her feet up high, and that's about where her feet are when they land. So everything else is about the shoulders catching up. Right. All right, so that does it for our inversions. We're going to move into some release skills now. This is a great training tool.
Switch up releases.
Some of the new skills, such as the high to highs and stuff like that, but it's also a really nice skill unto itself. Key things here is speed off the ground. And for your top person, you want her to replace the foot. Don't have her think that she has to give the foot to a base. Just tell her, replace the foot where the other foot was. Because she can't see the bases, but they can see her. And then for your bases, you want them to think wide hands, stay in close together, and then your back spot getting on that ankle to help give support. You almost never catch a perfect grip on this, but if those bases are in close, so they're sharing the weight and driving through their shoulders, then any catch that they make will stabilize that skill good enough for it to work. So again, this is a good one to practice. You can get it. You can almost get this to the point where it's so good that it's so smooth you don't even notice. You don't even notice sometimes that they switch it. But again, we talked earlier about bases in close, dropping their shoulders back so they can see the foot. Instead, you want them to step in underneath, and that puts that power underneath there. That may eliminate that stunt from coming back down the middle if you have an issue with that. And of course, you can switch that up to, heel stretches. You can quarter turn them to arabesques, spin them, what have you. Okay. So let's go to another release. We did the switch up. Now we're definitely moving ahead here into Lark. Could we go to 31? Flip 31. Perfect. There we go. Then we foreshadowed 32 there, which is illegal last year. The switch ups and low to highs have been giving you plenty of practice time for this. But the key thing here is, again, top person, continue lifting up and replace the foot. Bases. Do not bend the arms down. Don't let them come down and try, a lot of times they'll think, oh, I've got to get down low and then press it back up. No, keep it up in that locked out position and then absorb the weight when they re-catch it with their legs. You see how their legs are absorbing that switch. They're not trying to absorb it through their arms. They're letting their arms be locked out, absorbing through the shoulders and the trunk of their body. Makes it so much easier for them to catch. So that's your basic high to high. And if you're wanting to practice this, and maybe you've got a top girl who's a little nervous, or your base is maybe a little nervous, put a shoulder stand next to it initially, just make it a pyramid visual. And then once they're comfortable with it, you can take the shoulder stand or double base prep away, and then it can become the freestanding stunt that you're looking for. Okay, and again, you can take that to heel stretches or what have you, or you can also quarter turn it, which is the next clip that we're going to show you. This is one of your rules that you need to remember. If you do a release that's high and stays high, you can only quarter turn it. If you do a release from prep level, you can full twist, half twist, etc., and you can catch it at any level. But a high release to a high catch only can quarter turn, which means you could go from front facing to this arabesque or scorpion, etc., or go arabesque to a heel stretch. You can go backwards as well. But all the technique parts are the same. Bases stay in close, absorb through the shoulders and legs, back spot quick onto that ankle, and make sure your top is not trying to give the foot, but just replace where the other foot was. Notice on her arabesque, shoulders and head stay up nice, leg comes up nice in the back. Okay?
Hey guys, this is where this class was supposed to end, but because we had a couple glitches in the technology, we're going to let Cowboy keep going because we know that everyone's favorite thing at almost every conference is stunts. So we're going to let Cowboy keep going.
How much time?
You're supposed to be done in 1 minute, but we're going to let you finish your entire presentation.
Oh, okay.
We'll go to short because we already know he talks fast enough as it is, so we'll be fine. Put your questions in the band, and we'll have Cowboy try to answer your questions in the band. We're not going to be able to go over them just because we want to make sure he gets through all 45 videos that he set through. So hopefully we don't have any more problems with the technology, I'm hoping. But I'm going to hop off here and let Cowboy finish up with all the stunts. I just didn't want anyone to feel like